Well, the haters gonna hate, and the faker's gonna fake, baby. I'm just gonna making luck, a Dominion podcast.
I'm feeling very Marie Antoinette here.
Oh, right, you want to eat some cake.
Well, if you can't have bread, then let them eat cake.
Yeah, I mean, bread and cake are pretty
Cake
good.
also going to have most of the same problems.
Well, I mean, we're not doing a full sandwich this episode, so like we could just have some cake at the end of the podcast.
Oh, podcast cake, huh?
Yeah.
We could make a meringue sandwich. No, wait, no, that should be.
That's more like a baked Alaska.
An open-faced sandwich is what we're having this time.
We could, but we could have a baked Alaska.
Okay, do you just want to get into this?
Welcome to Making Luck, a Dominion podcast. Hi, I'm Adam. This is Wandering Winter.
Yeah.
What's up?
That always happens, I feel like. We've never gotten it down whether you're going to introduce me or I'm going to introduce myself. And you pause for like a half a second, and then we kind of both go for it at the same time, and it's just like, shut piss.
You would think that like 115 episodes or whatever we've done, we would get that figured out by now, but nope. Here we are in the year 2022.
We're professionals. We're actually not. We don't get paid for this.
Not anymore, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the amount you were getting paid before was really enough to call you a professional anyway.
What are you trying to say, man? I gave Jake half of the ad revenue. It was 55 cents.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is, like, I don't know various sporting agencies' rules on what constitutes amateur status, but I don't know if 55 cents is it.
This guy. All right, so we got this guy who's so full of himself that 55 cents doesn't mean anything to him.
Well, it's not enough for me to live off of. I just have such an expensive lifestyle.
Oh, we're getting... All right, you have grown accustomed to a certain standard of living.
That's right. That's right.
That's fair. I can't compete with that. So anyway, here we're making a podcast. You might be thinking to yourself, every one of these stupid things is a mini-sode these days.
Yeah.
And where did half the podcast go? And it turns out that, you're in for a treat. Because today at the end of the podcast, we're going to have some bread for you. Or maybe meringue.
And actually, the middle of the podcast is not going to be too different from the bread either. It's almost like we're having an open-faced bread sandwich or something.
Just a stack of bread.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna be honest with you. I haven't played a lot of Dominion in the past month or so. I've been actually working and going in to work, and that has taken away from my Dominion time because I also have a commute and stuff, which is cool for, getting back to something that resembles a normal life, but also not cool for doing things that I enjoy, like sleeping and maybe playing Dominion.
And I'm going to be honest with you, I hadn't played that much Dominion for a while, and then the last week or so I played like 200 games or something.
That's a lot of games.
It is a lot.
You could say that
200 is what? That'd be
55.
That'd be like almost 30 games a day. Yeah, it might be almost 200. I played a lot of Dominion recently.
So you could say that when you're, cracking open a new game of Dominion and you see that kingdom, you analyze that kingdom, and you're doing that so often that you could say you're doing a rapid fire kingdom analysis. Yeah.
You could say that, but you would be presuming that I'm spending more time thinking before I make my first button press than I actually do.
Oh yeah, your APM is like sky high. I forgot.
Well, it's just like when I'm playing 200 games a week, I'm like, do I want to use my brain? No.
Yeah, so on this podcast, we don't use our brains.
No, on the podcast, I'm going to use my brain.
Oh, okay. So what do you say to this? we open up some kingdoms and we use our brains and we talk about what we would do.
So say we all.
Yeah. And, if you've got opinions, dear listener, you could express them. There's a lot of different ways you could do that. If you're a video listener, you're listening to this on YouTube, go ahead and leave a comment in the comments section. That's always welcome. In addition, there are some other things you can do. You can go to adamhorton.com. There's a contact tab with all the places you can get a hold of me. There's also a tab for the Discord. You can hit us up on the Discord server, and maybe us or maybe some other people can offer their insights as well. We can discuss things, the kingdoms you see on the podcast there. We'd certainly like to hear from you, and especially about the kingdom at the end of this, because we'll be doing some more in-depth discussion and playtesting in between this and the next episode. But Wandering Winder, when is our next episode going to be?
Soon. Trademark.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be soon. Because we're going to do an episode where we revisit our first impressions of all of the Allies cards and card-shaped objects. Isn't that going to be fun?
Oh, yeah, Allies.
Yeah.
That's a set that came out
This year.
astonishingly close, and yet with so many things in between. And then after that, at some point, we're going to do, I assume, a review of Plunder.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Welcome to the future. There's so much freaking Dominion.
It's going to be like there's like 50 million cards in that too, right? Like, I don't remember the number.
Approximately 555.
It was more than, I remember seeing somebody said that it was more than any other set previously, so.
I thought there were some other 500 cards. Like I thought.
No,
Dark
okay,
Ages
sorry.
was
I
500
don't
cards?
mean more like pieces of cardboard. I mean more different card-shaped objects. Or maybe it was kingdom cards.
That's
no, it was
possible.
kingdom cards. I think it was like there's 40 kingdom cards, and
Yeah,
Dark
'cause
Ages only had 35.
Yeah, a bunch of ruins, yeah.
Something like that. I don't know. It's big.
Ugh.
Our review is going to be, we're going to have to move faster, I'll tell you that, because I don't want to
yeah.
do another like 4-hour podcast.
Yeah, me neither. So in any case, what we're going to be doing for our next episode, we're going to be looking at how our opinions on Allies cards have changed, and we're also going to be looking at how the community's opinions on Allies cards have changed. And if you would like to voice your opinion, I will have a hashtag link in the description to a cards power levels poll that we'll be revisiting. You can give a rating to every card-shaped object in Dominion if you'd like. However, it's most important to do all the new stuff.
It's most important to do Scout.
And also Scout, yeah. So that includes all of Allies, but also the second editions for Seaside, Prosperity, and Hinterlands. If I feel like there's any insightful things about those, maybe we'll talk about those then on that podcast. So if you have something you want to share with us or just do your ratings there, check that out and let us know what you think. And we'll talk about it next episode if we have time and it seems worth it. I don't know when that's going to be, because I don't know what my schedule looks like, and I don't know what anything looks like, but it's coming soon enough that, we can do some bread.
Yeah, I should probably do that re-rating so you can know my new ratings too, huh?
Yeah, I also have to do my re-ratings too, which I haven't done. The
Correct.
poll will probably be up for another week or so around the time this podcast is published, so that's about how much time we have.
Cool.
All right, you ready to get into some rapid-fire kingdom analysis, brah?
I'm ready!
All right, if I'm going to go ahead and press this button that expresses how ready I am.
I'm ready!
Nice. It seems that we're both ready. All right, let's take a look at this one. I'll read it first. So in this kingdom, we have Clashes, Familiar, Jack of All Trades, Remake, Temple, Capital, Catacombs, Margrave, Rabble, and Horde. And in the interest of time, we're only going to read that once, so if you need that repeated, you might have to use the rewind button. Sorry if you're driving, but make sure you're wearing a seatbelt.
Yeah, it's important. So, let's see. I look at this board and I see 0 villages.
Yeah, there's no village. And I see Jack, Remake, and Temple that are all like 4-cost trash your stuff.
Yeah.
But
And
in any case, no village.
yeah. Gosh, I'm kind of inclined to play this as something relatively close to Jack Money. Probably take a Margrave if I on a 5. Take a Horde.
So yeah, I mean, there's really not that many non-terminals here. There's a couple of treasures, you've got Familiar, and you've got a couple of things in the Clashes pile.
Yeah.
Like, you've got Warlord that maybe could be okay, but, like, there's some nasty attacks here, too. You've got Archer, you got Familiar, Margrave, and Jack of all Trades looks pretty good against all that stuff except for Archer. And
Yeah.
I definitely want Jack, and that's going to be a big part of my strategy here. I kind of wonder if I want to get a remake to protect against Familiar. You have Horde to kind of support that too. I wonder if you open remake and get a Jack later.
So, yeah, I mean, this is part of my question is, do I want remake or not? And if you're thinking about it to protect against Familiar, like, do you think you should get a potion?
I don't think I would here.
Then
because of remake.
And then next question is, do you think you'll be behind if you go for the remake and your opponent just goes straight for Jack and nobody touches potion?
Yes.
So in that case, wouldn't you rather open with the Jack and then get the remake if they get a potion?
That seems very reasonable, yeah. But if I'm first player and I'm staring at 4 coppers, yeah, okay, I would agonize, but I would probably end up getting the Jack.
I kind of think I'm in that spot. I don't think I actually want to get Battle Plan here, like, ever.
I'm not super warm on Battle Plan either. I think I'm going with Jack Money. I like maybe picking up a Horde. I'm a little warmer on Capital than I am on Margrave.
Okay. I'm not warm on Capital, like, at all.
I'm also a little warmer on Catacombs than I am on Margrave.
I think I mean, it might depend a little on what my opponent does, but, like...
Yeah, I'm assuming they're going to get, like, 2 or 3 Jacks like I want.
If they get 3 Jacks, then I'm going to be less warm on Margrave. But in general, if they have 1, how likely is my Margrave to line up with their Jack hand? And how bad is it for them if... Fair. Like, the discard attack is pretty strong against the kind of decks we're talking about. Although, yeah, I mean, it kind of depends, right? How many terminals am I going to have? If my opponent is uncovering archers, I might take an archer.
Sure. I guess so much of what I'm saying depends so much on what my opponent is going to do here.
Yeah.
And I don't think I have anything more to say about this board.
I think we're not going to touch Rabble.
Rabble doesn't seem worth it. I don't think Temple is either.
Yeah. Yeah, Temple seems like the third best of the trashers, and Rabble seems like the third best of the drawers.
Yeah. You got 3 cards up here that do the same thing, Catacombs, Margrave's, Rabble. And then you've got Jack, Remake, and Temple that are not quite as similar, but still pretty similar.
And I don't think I'm going to touch Capital, but...
I can definitely see situations where I get a Capital. I think Capital and Money is fantastic late game.
I do not.
All right.
But that's fine.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and make you resign.
Wow.
We'll move on.
Rude.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. You're up, Captain.
Okay, so on this board, we've got Border Guard, Merchant Camp, Steward, Fortress, Tiara, Wandering Minstrel, Bandit Camp, Crystal Ball, Relic, Border Village. We also have Platinum and Colony, and Museum, and Way of the Mole.
Hey, Wandering Winder.
Yeah.
I found all the villages.
Oh, are there any villages on this board?
There are 6 of them.
Great. great. And like,
it's hilarious because there's like only one terminal.
yeah, there's Steward, which I definitely want to get.
Yeah, I like Steward. It's my favorite card in all of Dominion. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, so there's a lot of villages. There's trashing. The draw is Steward. And you can Tiara to give you extra buys, and you can Relic to attack.
Yeah.
And there's also Museum, so
Yep.
you're rewarded for putting a variety of cards in your deck. I think this is
Although,
pretty easily a whole deck paradigm.
yeah,
Yes.
I don't know that Museum's going to be that important unless the game is super close, because just colonies is a lot of points.
Oh, right. Colonies. That's a thing. I was thinking even without colonies and potentially even without Museum, I would still probably want to build a little bit more and build that deck.
For sure. I'm like, whatever else nonsense, colonies, museum, whatever. I'm definitely just like, if I just wanted to buy a province per turn, I'd probably still try to draw my deck.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, Tiara gets much better with Platinum.
Yeah. Yeah,
By a
double
lot.
playing that. And
Yeah, I feel like I'm probably going to go for like one of everything strats.
oh,
Like, there's Wandering Minstrel, Bandit Camp, Border Village, Fortress, and Merchant Camp. And I'm probably going to have like one of each of those in my deck, right?
Oh,
Because of Museum.
I don't think I'm gonna touch merchant camps, like, probably ever. I'm also not that inclined to take a fortress. Certainly, I don't think I'm probably not taking a fortress. I mean, like, I could see taking a fortress or a merchant camp if I have 3 or 4 spare money, and at the end of the game, I need to buy 2 points, I guess. But it would be just, like, right at the very end, because I need to buy 2 points. I guess you could
Interesting.
try to do some kind of draw to X thing with merchant camp and moles. Ooh.
That seems real
really
bad.
bad.
Seems incredibly bad.
It seems really, really bad. So I guess my priorities are, 1, get thin. 2, get all the stewards.
Yeah, you're going to want a lot of those because it's the only draw.
Yeah. And
Well,
then,
Way of the Mole is draw, but you know.
yeah, but it's by far the best draw.
It's the only serviceable draw.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I'm going to want some tiaras for extra gains. Bandit Camp is reasonable money, and it's 4 points, probably. Well, maybe not, but it could be 4 points.
I think Wandering Minstrel's fantastic here as well.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out, do I want to open Steward, or do I want to open Minstrel Steward?
I like Double Steward.
I think I like Double Steward also, particularly with Border Guard around.
It's nice. It's 2 points. Little hit to the reliability. Or I mean boost to the reliability.
Yes, a boon, if you will, but not in the game sense.
Yeah.
I'm going to want 1 relic for sure. That's probably my first 5. Maybe it's a bandit camp, but one or the other of those.
I like the Relic.
The relic is, well, it would just be bandit camp if, like, I hit 5 and am over terminals and need to get a village, then I might take a bandit camp. But I also, like, I want some minstrels pretty early too, so I don't know.
Yeah. I think this one's pretty straightforward. I don't really have much else to say. I agree with just about everything you said.
What do you think about Crystal Ball here?
I really like that card, but I don't think it's great here because Steward does the trashing better, and like, I don't need peddlers in this deck. I need platinums.
Yeah, so I mostly am not that enthused about it, but I could see maybe picking one up. Particularly, like, it kind of goes well with drawing your deck in Bandit Camp, because you could just, like, you know, that last card is going to be a spoils, and you can play it. I don't know. But, yeah, it's not super exciting, but, I don't know, maybe I'll get one. On a 5/2, do I open Crystal Ball? I might open Crystal Ball on a 5/2.
Interesting. Yeah, I might, but I would still strongly
open
consider Steward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Be very sad with my life.
Let's move on.
All right,
I've
I
made
have resigned
you
this game.
sign again.
I get it. That was a funny joke. All right. What's going on here? Oh, this is fun. So there was when Allies came out, there was this little rule setup recommendation change. Now you can have 3 landscapes.
So long as one of them is an ally.
Yeah, it's possible to have 3 landscapes if an ally is the third one. And
I think
gotta
it's
be honest with you, like the split piles from allies and all of this fiddly garbage. It reminds me of Nocturne, only it's a lot more in your face, and it's a lot less ignorable. And I don't know if it's just my brain not working as well, or if so many things are coming out, or if what it is, but like it seems like Dominion just got a lot more complicated and it's not paying for itself. Anyway, I'm done complaining.
I mean, I mostly felt like that with like what was the one that was after guilds? Was that Adventure?
Yeah, I did feel a little bit of
Like
that in Adventure
as soon as the sideways stuff started happening, it's like, oh, remember how we used to have 10 kingdom cards all the time? Yeah, now we have like 12 usually. And there's also all these extra piles like wisps and the travelers
Peasant and page. Oh, jeez.
And now it's even more. But I mean, like, I guess the way you view this is it's less that it's a third landscape and more just that it doesn't count as a landscape. But
yeah, but it makes the
it really looks like a landscape. I don't know, whatever. Yes, there's just more things. There's always more things on the board. And I guess that's replayability to some extent, but I don't know. Your mileage may vary.
Yeah.
You wanna read the kingdom?
I do. So in this one we have Royal Blacksmith, Storeroom, Tunnel, Blessed Village, Broker, Clerk, Taxman, Transmogrify, Highway, Horn of Plenty, and then we have Conquest, Fleet, and Gang of Pickpockets.
So we get that hot open tunnel action for your Gang of Pickpockets.
Oh, look at that. I was thinking Storeroom Tunnel, and then here you are with like Gang of Pickpockets. Oh wait, that's significantly better.
I mean, to be clear to the listeners, that was sarcasm. I don't think you want to open tunnel.
Okay. You probably don't open tunnel for that, but maybe Tunnel with Gang of Pickpockets is competitive here. Because, like, I'm looking at Highway, Horn of Plenty, and that seems pretty nuts. And there is draw with Blessville and Royal Blacksmith. But the thinning is pretty slow. Transmogrify helps you front run.
Taxman, baby.
There's Taxman and Clerk. Again, with the redundancy. What does Taxman have to do with any of that, though?
It thins your coppers for your Royal Blacksmith, and it turns stuff into Horns of Plenty later.
The synergy, Taxman, Royal Blacksmith.
Like, I don't think I want to open Taxman because I want to open Clerk because Clerk is really good. Although, wait,
Broker?
Hold on.
Holding on.
With Gang of Pickpockets, maybe Clerk is a lot worse.
Oh, like, discard down to
they're already
4.
discarding, and so instead they're putting it on top of the deck, which is is worse, but it's not that much. I'm opening Taxman, baby. Or maybe I'm opening Transmogrify. Oh,
I'm between Broker and Transmogrify, and Transmogrify is tan, and
that's what I just said. I said it's tan.
Yeah.
So I
want to open with the Broker, man.
I am not interested in doing money here. I am interested in doing Horn of Plenty.
And there's enough attacks here. I don't think money can get the job done.
I think between the Gang of Pickpockets and and Fleet and the extra points from Tunnel and especially from Conquest, if the Horn of Plenty isn't going to get there, I can pivot to Storeroom and buy 4 Conquests, whatever, if I really have to. But I don't.
Oh, that's right. There is a lot of draw here, and then you can Storeroom and Tunnel and just have so much money.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard to do that, except if you're playing money, are you going to contest my villages? Yeah. And even if you do, if I don't play with Highway, which I don't know that there's actually a huge... I mean, you could play with Highway Storeroom, but I think I'd rather probably not touch the highway so much. If I really need more village, Broker. Like, and then you can draw all day with your Royal Blacksmiths. So
Broker has that hashtag synergy with Highway.
yeah.
I mean, Transmogrify is the one with synergy. I do like opening Broker and then getting a Transmog a little bit later.
I think I kind of think I want to open Taxman.
You really want that Taxman?
Oh, Taxman's probably also worse with Gang of Pickpockets.
I mean, the attack is certainly worse. I really like opening Broker. I mean, you can make arguments for all these other 4s to pick up ASAP, but
yeah. I'm coming around to Broker, and then probably just like not getting a Transmogrify because why?
I just realized that Highway and Transmogrify don't actually have synergy with each other.
I was wondering about when you said they had synergy.
It took me a minute, but it doesn't actually work.
Like
it's really hard to play Highways before you call your Transmogrify.
There are cases where you can do it on other like boards, whatever.
Captain and Way of the Mouse.
Or like Captain and some, Captain and Canal or Prince or there are lots of ways to do it, but you delay a King's Court, or you play a Mastermind from last turn.
There you go, Mastermind. That's probably the best one.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I want to build big here. I think I've come around to Broker, probably with silver. I don't want a lot of silvers, but
I think I like getting a silver with the Broker here. Open.
And then, like, I'm not even that interested in hitting 5 early, but
it's not a big deal.
But I'm gonna want a Taxman after a little while. Like, I do want Taxman because I want to get rid of the coppers, and I think one Taxman will be worth it.
With a couple highways in play, you can Taxman coppers directly into Horn of Plenty and potentially draw them. That seems pretty sexy.
Guess that's true. I still don't know how enthused I am about Highway in general. It's like also anti-synergizes with buying Royal Blacksmiths, which I would like to do at some point.
I think there's a place for like some highways in the deck.
I could see it. I'm just not sure.
If for no other reason than the Taxman Horn of Plenty trick.
That would be that would be the biggest pull for me. But like I want to make sure I get a decent number of blessed villages, because I'm gonna want to, like, I don't want to have to use Broker as a village too much. I'm gonna want to get a couple of Royal Blacksmiths. I guess you don't need that many villages, but like if I lose the split 6-4, I'm not gonna be like, oh no, I've lost.
Yeah, because you've always got that backup plan, and like how much terminal space do you really need? You really can play with a thin deck here because of Highway.
I'm going to play a couple Royal Blacksmiths and a Taxman and a Storeroom maybe, and that's 4 terminals, so I need 3 villages to support that. Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this one is probably pretty tough to play. I think a lot of it depends quite a bit on the way you draw.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't... And then there's also Fleet to worry about. It's gonna be a bit of a thing.
I don't know that Fleet is too fantastic here. I feel like whoever can blow up their horns and just get a bunch of points first probably wins the game no matter what.
It's probably true, but there is conquest still. I don't know. You're probably not really set up to do big conquest stuff because if you set up for that, then the other person's just gonna get way too many provinces probably.
Yeah, probably. Sure. I see that.
So, yeah, I mean, Fleet's probably not the hugest deal, but I could see it coming up if, like, in a mirror to prevent some kind of cheeky pile-out on... Because that happens a lot in Horn games, right? The villages get low, and the Horns get low, and suddenly, maybe you have to protect against the 3-pile ending, and you can do that by buying Fleet and not worrying about it so much, as opposed to, like, I'm going to blow up a Horn premature. That's probably the biggest thing for Fleet here. is
I suppose. Yeah,
in
it's pretty
certain
situational, but-
circumstances, if it gets to that point where you're kind of worried about some pile out because you each have like 5 horns of plenty, and that's a lot of gains, and you have a couple storerooms or something, then maybe you take a fleet, but that'll be about it. And we're good on this one?
Yeah.
Resign!
Oh, I tried to click the resign button, but you beat me to it.
It's only 1 click for me.
And your APM is, like, through the roof, man.
Okay, we've got another kingdom now. It has Moat, Tracker, Leprechaun, Caravan, Hideout, Magpie, Monument, Barbarian, Cursed Village, Swamp Hag, Way of the Frog, and Piazza. And if you didn't catch when I said Moat, that's Moat.
Okay. So there's boons from Tracker, and there's
Yeah.
hexes from both Leprechaun and Curse Village.
And there's Pouch from Tracker.
And there's Pouch. Alright, you know what, I'm not superstitious. I don't believe that my complaining about fiddly extra mechanics brought this on. Anyway, so this board,
Yeah.
you got the trashing, you got the hiding of the out, but estates are a little tougher to get rid of, but sure, that's a thing.
I mean, estates are going to be gotten rid of, and curses are also going to be acquired and then deposited.
Potentially deposited.
I don't know why that's the word that came to mind, but I don't know why you think it's that funny. I don't
I'm
think
gonna
it's
play a
that
hideout and deposit this curve.
okay. I don't think I wasn't even intending it as a joke, really. I just... You think
I'm just
that's
gonna
very...
deposit
Oh,
this
there's-
curse over here in the
you know,
pile of deposits.
There's very little plus buy. There's just the Pouch and Forest's Gift off Tracker.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of attacks you can play, but
Oh yeah,
there's
like
no
I'm definitely building. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, you have to build because Moat by itself it just isn't enough. So you at least gotta thin.
Well, and there's like infinite monument points and really strong attacks and
not
nothing
swayed
to
by
do
infinite
money-wise.
monument points.
I mean,
Yeah,
so I don't think infinite monument points is going to matter, but I think monument points could matter.
I guess. Although terminal space seems how tight is terminal space?
Well, I mean, hideout needs food, but then you're gonna get a lot of cursed. Like cursed village looks good to me here.
I mean, it seems pretty good. It has that hashtag synergy with Way of the
Everything.
Frog. Wait, no. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you
That's
know what
what
else has
it actually
synergy with
does.
Way of the Frog?
No.
Piazza and
And playing 6 things as a frame.
yes.
All right, you go for that. I'll do other things.
Although you know what kind of actually does have synergy with Way of the Frog? Mode.
Ooh, Frog and Moat. Is that enough to make me want to go money?
No.
Like Magpie, Leprechaun, money?
No.
With a Moat and just play 4-card hands the entire game?
No.
But I'm immune to Swamp Hag and Barbarian.
Sure are. Those infinite monument points are gonna...
But I've got Leprechaun to see me through. What if you thin and
for money?
What if you thin and just do that and like Gold Flood? You probably have to get enough magpies to get wishes, though,
I think
right?
the problem is I'm gonna also thin and do that and play a bunch of action cards.
Great, but like you only have 1+ buy from Pouch. So how much do you really want to build?
A lot.
Why?
So I can play more so I can play monuments. I guess barbarians and swamp hags aren't going to be that important if you're able to
To frog my moat, yeah.
frog a moat. But
That's so thematic. You could think about like
I
frogs
can
living in the
I
moat.
can gain and play my wishes. I can play a bunch of monuments. I have my 2 buys every turn.
I guess you could
I
wish
can
for the
build the like
duchies.
yeah. Well, like I'm not. I
What
mean
does
that
it
deck,
take? What does it take to build up to more than one province per turn?
um,
I just don't see this game being decided by who can play more monuments. That never happens.
I think monument is important here. Like
Maybe that's the
I'm not gonna
core
I'm
of
not gonna
architecture.
outscore 8 provinces just by playing monument 49 times, but
But you're thinking like make up for a 5-3 deficit.
yeah, I definitely think you can make up for a 5-3 deficit by playing several monuments and then like maybe wishing for an extra duchy or something. Like I think you want to build real big here.
Yeah, I don't. I would not use the words real big to describe how much I want to build here, and I think, man, I just don't see getting a bunch of monuments being all that great here.
Uh, uh, okay, maybe the issue is a bunch.
Like, how many monuments you think you're gonna play every turn?
Like I don't know, 3.
3 monuments every turn.
Eventually.
I don't know. I mean,
Like,
it's not a
early.
decision. It's not a decision I have to make right now.
Right. Well,
But
that's the other thing. Like I threw out 3, but like we'll see how the game goes.
what do you think of pizza?
I mean, I
Piazza.
love pizza, but Piazza is, I don't know, not that impressive to me. Like, I want to
I'm
curse
not super
village
sold on
more,
it.
maybe every time. Can you imagine though? The worst thing is going to be. Oh, the other thing about Piazza is I want to play with Leprechaun, and I do not want to hit Leprechaun off Piazza.
Yeah, I just think that having like options to pick up some caravans.
Can
Well,
you imagine getting
caravan.
locusts and then having that hit your pouch?
That would suck.
Pepperidge Farm can imagine. But I also think like
Yeah.
there's a lot of village here and there's a lot of draw off the cursed village. Like you can play a million things. I might even get a second leprechaun
Why?
so that I can make sure I activate it every turn because I'm gonna have a lot of action cards.
But I don't know.
Like, I'm
I
not
mean, if it
planning
doesn't
to get a
happen, I
second.
frog it for next turn. Like, I don't care. I don't care that much about getting the wish every single turn, do I? Maybe you get 2 of them and you frog one of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
not. That's not crazy. That's
That
not
was
crazy.
the idea for the second one. Is like I don't know, maybe I'll get a second one and then frog it, and then I'll always
Never.
have it.
I don't think I've ever seen Way of the Frog be so relevant.
I know, right?
This is like the Way of the Frog board. Huh. That's kind of neat. Anyway, I think I want to hear what you think, dear listener. Leave a comment in the comment section. If you can figure out what Wandering Winter and I actually disagree about, because I'm not really positive what it is, and then which one do you agree with?
I think the what it sounds like we disagree about is Monument.
I think so, yeah. I think everything else is probably roughly agreement.
But I also think if we played it, it would end up working out about the same because we kind of decide
Possible?
like 12 turns in how many monuments we want. Because you don't really need
man.
to worry about it before then. So
I don't know, man. Maybe. Yeah. Oh, did you just play a copper or something?
no, I just clicked ready,
Oh, nice.
start game or whatever.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, let's do another one. I'm glad we got in. Glad we got in some fireworks there.
Some fireworks around Way of the Frog.
Little bit of the disagreement, but also Way of the Frog. I'm glad to see our froggy friend get his moment in the sun.
Okay, next kingdom. Develop, Warehouse, Armory, Barone, Ranger, Remodel, Tiara, Fisherman, Merchant Ship, Hireling, Desperation, and Stampede. And Barone is, of course, Baron.
All right. So there is no village.
There appears to be no village.
So I'm looking at non-terminals. I see good old fishy fish up there.
Yeah.
I see warehouse.
Yeah. Do you
I
see
see
horses?
kind of hireling.
Do you see horses?
I mean, technically, but I don't know.
Let me ask.
Just
Let me ask you this: do you want a Desperation Stampede on turn 1 or 2?
what about, how's the trashing here? Bad? I don't think so. What price point am I trying to hit? 6 for a hireling?
Six for a
Not
hireling.
impressed. I'm not impressed. I would rather open with a fisherman.
When I first said said that, I was thinking, haha, no, this is a very bad idea. But I'm kind of wondering now.
I really like opening fisherman plus develop.
So what I was thinking of opening was remodel plus Stampede.
Remodel plus stampede. So are you like stampeding on turn 2 then?
Well, hopefully. I guess
You
it would be
almost
on a
certainly
four,
can
on a,
unless
on
you
a,
have a 5.
it would have to be a 4-3 exactly, right? Because if I want to get a
To get the
remodel with
remodel.
it, yeah.
Was remodel that much better than develop?
Well, I want to remodel stuff into Fisherman.
Coppers into fisherman?
Well, the curse first of all, and then yes.
Ugh.
Well, and then probably estates, unless I want a Baron. But I don't think that Baron.
I don't like Baron.
I mean, I could see Baron actually being good here. This is the other thing is, so if I don't go for this Stampede whatever plan, then I think I want to open hopefully Fisherman Baron. But I could see going like Warehouse Baron.
I like. Yeah, I'm still drawn to the fisherman develop opening.
See, just develop does not excite me.
Develop turns estates into silvers or maybe a warehouse. It turns fisherman into tiara gold on top, which is real sexy.
Well, it sometimes turns Fisherman into
Right, and remodel sometimes
Although that
turns
is-
copper into fishy too. It's
Yeah,
a gold
well,
sauce.
so that's part of the reason, like, the Stampede is going to make it to where that exact shuffle, I'm going to be at the top, and then hopefully the hirelings are going to help me out a bit, but yeah, that is cute. I'm a bit skeptical of it. It probably, like, if you draw well, it's going to be amazing, and if you don't draw well,
yeah,
it's going to look like you're really stupid.
yeah. I'm not afraid.
I think I want to play probably with like Baron and some warehouses and some fishermen and some hirelings.
I'm not super warm on Baron.
Yeah. I guess Baron always makes fishermen be expensive, which is sad.
I suppose. Although if you're Baron discarding an estate, you're probably hitting 6 anyway.
Yeah, but like I'd like to hit, I don't know, fisherman plus something, you know?
Sure.
Although
I see that.
I guess Baron also makes stampeding much more of a reality at times.
Yeah, sure. Can you, like, Baron discard and then get a thing and stampede a lot of the time?
Well, if fisherman still could cost 2 after you played a Baron, then that would sound amazing.
Right.
I don't
And now
think
you
it's
have to
going to be
make
very
10.
likely because, like, if you have 5 cards in play, that's going to be Baron and what, like 4 golds? Ugh.
Yeah.
Wait, Baron 3 golds, that's 13, and a warehouse.
Province Stampede.
Province Stampede. I don't think that
Wait,
actually
can you
works.
make a golden deck out of this?
You'd have to get thin.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't like that. I don't think
Ish.
that's good.
It's also like 3 golds is a lot. I think it's gonna be like you could do it, but I think that's too cute and just like going for
It would take forever. Yeah.
something with hirelings seems better to me.
Sure, and I'm not even super warm on hireling. I mean, I imagine you probably get one. If that develop dream happens on turn 3 or turn 4, where I collide develop
Well,
fisherman and my
can't really
fisherman
have it on
costs
turn
5.
3, can it?
Yeah, okay. So on turn 4, if
Yeah.
that develop dream happens, then I'm probably agonizing and like getting hireling tiara, or maybe like, man, there's like remodel gold or
No,
tiara
you
gold
go
or-
gold tiara, and then like when you play the gold on
Oh,
the
you play
tiara,
that,
you
and
can
then you get
top
the
deck
hireling.
the hireling, right?
Yeah, that's sexier. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tiara gold is probably going to be relatively important as well. I'm probably going to incorporate that in my Baron fisherman.
Yeah, tiara
Whatever.
Tiara has a little bit of synergy with Fisherman too.
Yes, that's
With
true.
the develop thing, that can help you line stuff up.
Even without the develop thing, just like if you're at the top of the shuffle. Oh, I guess
Yeah.
if you want to make it expensive, then maybe. But if you want to make it cheap, just like you can
Yeah.
top deck the fisherman, and then they're still cheap.
Yeah, it works both ways actually. Tiara, the more I think about it, seems very good here.
Oh yeah, I mean Tiara actually. We want to
Top up
talk
2
about
fishies.
updated impressions, and since we're going to be doing that with allies, and this is not allies,
Prosperity 2nd edition.
Tiara's been real impressive to me.
Oh, I
as a
mean,
prototype.
I looked at it and I thought it was super great. So,
Okay.
but I mean, yeah, it's good. It's a good card.
Sweet.
Anyway,
Ranger looks awful here, as does Armory.
Yep. Good talk.
Good
As
talk.
does Desperation. I don't like.
Oh, I think Desperation's likely to be important in the end game, if nothing else. Just like,
Oh, sure, endgame, yeah,
yeah.
but not.
I-
I don't want to open with it.
I don't want to open with it either. I think that's too cute. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe if you could stack your deck or something, like, it'd be fantastic, but you can't.
Wait, what? Where you mean like stack your turn 3, turn 4 deck?
No, I mean stack your deck every turn.
Oh, okay. Every turn.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Yep. All right, we can do at least one more before we get into some bread. This is going pretty well. Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at this one. We have Apothecary, University, Goatherd, Cardinal, Cartographer, Collection, Groundskeeper, Highwayman, Pirate, and Witch's Hut. Alright, so once I got past the Cardinal, Cartographer, Collection alliteration, I'm looking at Uni Highwayman, I'm looking at Groundskeeper and Collection being able to score about 10,000 billion trillion points.
Yeah. Well, but not so much together.
Right, you can get a lot of points here. And, I'm looking for some cute way to play your collection early and get points off uni gains, and it's not happening. Yeah, so Goatherd is the only trashing. Trashing seems really great here, because the draw is a little tight.
Yeah, I'm trying
I
to
think
think.
University's great here.
Yeah, I mean,
think
you
I
could try to
gotta
do
open
some kind of pirate money business, but I'm pretty dissuaded from that to some extent by
Witch's
Highwayman, but mostly by the million points available to me via Groundskeeper and Collection.
Yeah, and also Witch's Hut craps on that deck pretty good too.
Does it?
Yes.
I don't think it does, but
I
I
think
think that's neither here nor there, because the other stuff.
I think we both agree the deck is
Already.
not good.
Yeah,
I think University's fantastic. I think I want to open with a potion to get it.
I think I also
you
want
can
to
go
open
for it.
with a potion. I'm thinking about whether I want to buy one Apothecary before I go for Universities.
Yeah, I could definitely see an Apothecary before University being good. I open Potion Goatherd. The Goatherd's going to trash the estates. The Apothecary is potentially going to help you find your good cards a lot quicker.
Yeah, I'm gonna want a small number of highwaymen, maybe 2, and then I'm gonna switch to Witch's Hut, I think.
Yeah,
Well-
okay, that seems reasonable. I was thinking about what order I wanted them in, but yeah, I like 1 or 2 highwaymen before.
And I'm gonna
going
want
for
a
Witch's
lot of
Huts,
groundskeepers. I think groundskeepers probably gonna be more important than collection here.
because it's
Just
easier to get in
because,
with university.
like, well, that's a big reason, but also, like, what actions am I gonna buy a lot of? I'm gonna buy some, and I'm gonna get some collections, but I'm probably gonna gain them off of, well, I guess you can gain the collections off pirate, which I expect I will get a pirate eventually. A couple pirates probably.
Really, I don't know. I kind of like going all in on groundskeepers.
Well, but you need money at some point, right?
Okay.
I also, in the back of my mind, am wondering what Cardinal is going to do here.
It's gonna exist in a pile of 10 that doesn't get touched the whole game.
Oh, I think it could get touched, like, once piles start to get low. Because, I mean, I don't want it early at all, but I think towards the end it might make its presence felt.
To me, once I'm assuming
How
that
are
my
you making
opponent,
money?
I mean, assuming that my opponent is doing something similar to me,
Yeah.
I would prioritize the groundskeeper split over getting money.
I think I would take a pirate or 2 before I'd pivot to groundskeepers, depending on, like, how that affects my deck control. But I mean, because having a collection or 2 is going to help me buy. I don't know. I think it's going to pay off in the end. I think the pirates are going to pay off because the collections are going to be worth enough to get. Yeah.
It is hard for me to imagine doing that before.
All the groundskeepers are gone.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, even if that's true, I think I would get probably at least 1 pirate before I start on the groundskeepers if I have the terminal space. But and the, I guess it's both terminal space and stop card, so that's a little bit
Yeah.
tricky. But the even if I'm gonna wait for the groundskeepers to get piled, my inclination would be to still want pirate after that. Although if the groundskeepers
Yeah.
get piled super early, then maybe Cardinal hitting groundskeepers could be a thing.
Theoretically, it could. I think.
And
I
an
mean, pirate
and an
after the
alter-
groundskeepers are gone seems totally reasonable to me.
And the Cardinals would be then like also an alternative way to get money. My inclination is to still want at least a couple pirates first, but before Cardinals. But I don't know. It all gets a bit tricky and weird there.
Yeah, mirrors get weird. I think a lot of it depends on if the universities get down to 1. I think it could.
Oh, I guess that's another thing for pirate is like it gives you some control over the university pile in that it can gain potion.
That's interesting. I
That
hadn't
that
thought
could
of that.
definitely come up. You know what I think won't come up here? Cartographer.
Photographer.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hot.
The more I think about it, I mean, the less I like getting the apothecary. But I mean, who are we kidding? I'm not gonna. I mean, my potion's gonna miss the shuffle. So.
No, it's going to line up with less. It's not going to miss the shuffle, but it's going to line up with not enough money to hit
Oh man,
2
that's
potion.
brutal.
Because you're opening potion goat herd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Your pessimism has prevailed here.
Yeah. I'm not sure about whether I want the apothecary or not. It's.
Yeah, I think it depends on a lot.
I guess I'm going to go with no. You made me resign?
Oh yeah. Yeah, your winning streak is over, bro.
All right. We got, what, 1 more before the bread, you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I don't remember whose turn it is to read this.
I did this last one.
Great. Okay, so this one we've got Guardian, Slay, Philosopher's Stone, Gardens, Shepherd, Kiln, Laboratory, Mystic, Old Witch, Scepter, and Gamble.
I see Philstone and Gardens, and I want so badly to make it work.
And it really, really, really doesn't.
So bad here. It's very bad here. I would not consider it.
So there's no village again. Well,
there is a village.
Gamble. There's Gamble.
There's two villages. Scepter is also a village.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But it's going to be hard to play, like,
yeah, both of these villages have
terminals
big problems,
in
yeah.
reasonable ways.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's decent non-terminals. You've got Lab. You've got Shepherd, which works a lot better with the presence of other draw like Lab. So, I mean, there's hope there.
Yeah.
There's Scepter Old Witch, which may just be too good.
Old Witch looks really good to me. There's also Guardian. If I have a 3/4, I'm probably going to be real tempted to go Guardian Old Witch.
Yeah, that seems very good to me. I'd probably do that.
And yeah, if Old Witch weren't here, I'd be all about Shepherd Lab with a Slay or something.
To get, like, what, a province per turn?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much else. There's also no plus buy here, right? So, yeah, to get a province per turn.
Shepherd and Labs. Is that really is that really the best money you could do? I have to believe that a Kiln in that deck is probably okay, right?
So
just Kiln
golds or something. I mean, maybe. But if you get the Slay, then you can get a bunch of Scepters to replay the Slay.
Yeah, and you can get good Guardian coverage.
And it gives you more cards in your deck once you play that Scepter on the Slay a bunch, so that your Gardens are worth more.
And your Philstones, too. Don't forget those.
Or more realistically, you can set up your... Like, once you're drawing your deck, you set up your next turn to where it's a bunch of horses, and then you gamble once, and then buy your thing. You don't play the horse.
Oh, then you top deck the horses.
Shuffle.
Yeah, that seems like you're overbuilding by quite a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. I feel like this is Guardian, Old Witch, and Scepter, and I'm not really inclined to touch other things.
I will probably also touch silvers and golds and provinces and gardens and yeah.
Silver, gold, and provinces seem likely.
Yeah.
Gardens, maybe, I don't know.
Gardens just
doesn't seem super important.
The cheap duchy, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I think I'll end up with 30. Like, we're both going to go for this. Our decks are going to be terrible. Like, I want to go for Lab, Shepherd, Slay with a couple of Guardians and always draw my deck and always be defended, but come on, no.
That seems like overbuilding.
Yeah, I just, like, buckle up and take the Old Witch. I might take a second Old Witch at some point if my deck gets big enough. Take some Scepters and go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I see this one's kind of disappointing. Oh, well.
Yeah.
All right. And now, assuming this one is in total garbage.
Total garbage.
Hashtag, oh boy, all right.
So what you listeners didn't know is that we rolled 7 total garbage kingdoms before this one. And
you know it.
And we just edited those out.
Yeah. After looking at this one for about 5 seconds, I say it's probably good enough.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's total garbage.
All right, so here we have
it's
Candlestick
only
Maker.
Partial garbage.
Yeah. Here we have Candlestick Maker.
Yeah.
Coin of the Realm. Native Village. Amulet. Odysseys. Bureaucrat. Militia. Emissary. Wild Hunt. Expand. And we have Desperation. Way of the Otter. And League of Bankers.
One more time. For our old audio-only listeners, we have Candlestick Maker, Coin of the Realm, Native Village, Amulet, Old Map, which is the top card of the Odysseys, Bureaucrat, Militia, Emissary, Wild Hunt, Expand, Desperation, League of Bankers, and Way of the Otter.
All right. You got Bureaucrat, which is
Look at that
absolute
Bureaucrat.
powerhouse. You gotta look at that Bureaucrat.
Yeah.
You can do all the things here, right? There's a native village for your
Yeah.
villaginess. You've
There's also
got
Coin of the Realm
multiple.
for your villaginess.
Oh, well, that seems potentially a lot better. You got pretty good draw. You got Emissary and Wild Hunt. You've
Yep.
got extra payload options with Expand, Candlestick Maker, and technically some of the Odysseys.
I would say
And
Wild
then
Hunt
also
is
also
payload.
Wild Hunt, and also attacking is an important part of the payload. Militia is a big stinking deal.
Yep.
So building a lot seems very important here.
Yep.
I think I want to open double Amulet,
Yep.
and you got some fantastic twos to pick up on your trasher turns.
Yep.
Grab maybe a coin or two, maybe a stick maker.
Yeah.
Stick maker helps you hit expand, which is probably an important part of your endgame payload. Emissary is the only liaison, so while League of Bankers makes me really want to get 10,000 favor tokens, that ain't gonna happen. Can you force your Emissary? Can you get, like,
Yes.
every one of them to work? You can
Oh,
gain...
every one of them is going to be a little hard, but like
You get, like,
one or two a turn.
Yeah, that doesn't seem enough to make League of Bankers the focal point, not with all this other stuff around.
I mean, League of Bankers isn't going to be my focal point, but the question of Emissary versus Wild Hunt is still interesting, mostly because Emissary is better on your terminal space. So I could see you wanting, like, I don't think you can just, like, never touch Wild Hunt, probably, because...
I feel like I never want to touch Emissary.
Oh, I think I'm probably getting a mix.
It's hard for me to imagine having 5, wanting one of those 2 cards, and not just getting another Wild Hunt. The more Wild Hunts you have, the better they tend to get, and I don't think that holds with Emissary.
That's
I don't think Emissary measures up.
probably true. I mean, I think I'm getting some of both. It's not clear to me. Let me put it this way. It's not inconceivable to me that I only want an Emissary after the Wild Hunts are gone. And maybe I don't need that much draw.
Sure.
But
Sure. I think Wild Hunt is just a lot better. But yeah.
yeah, so I think I'm going to get, 2 amulets, some coins. Do I stop after, like, a couple of coins and then move to native villages, or do I just, like, pile drive all the coins?
I think coin has to be a lot better, right?
Does it?
I mean, it gives you an extra action. So, like, if it's a stop card that gives you actions, coin doesn't take an action to play. So overall, it's more action efficient, which means it's more draw efficient. So I think Coin of the Realm, I mean, Native Village can theoretically be...
Can't do it every turn.
cards, but, like,
Card, half a card.
this is tough. The comparison's not clear, but
I
also
think
your
you're-
deck is just so much more consistent when you can just shove all the terminal draw in it and
think
not
you're-
worry about
I
finding
think
your
you're-
villages.
I think you're probably right. Coin of the Realm is probably basically better.
It seems like it outclasses to me. I mean, I definitely stop for at least one Candlestick Maker.
Oh yeah, at some point I'm definitely, because
Yeah.
I want plus buy at some point.
I
Although,
wonder if I pick that up over my first coin. Probably not.
I don't
probably
think
get
so.
one
So
coin
I'm,
and then
I'm
a
also
stick maker.
thinking I'll probably get an expand at some point, and I might just like expand into the Candlestick Maker. Like I probably want to expand pretty early.
I mean,
each
I
time
was
hit 7.
thinking I'd get the Candlestick Maker to help me hit the expand.
Oh. I wasn't, but I don't know, maybe.
I think Militia probably is important.
Yeah.
I tend to undervalue Militia, like not get it early enough.
I could even, like... I haven't really thought about, do I want to open Amulet Militia?
I don't. I think your turns are more successful if you can play amulets early. But
I think I
you know,
agree.
if you don't get to play an amulet turn 3 and turn 4, then it seems likely you could have a $4 hand, and
No,
you know,
Adam, my turn 3 hand is going to be 3 coppers and 2 estates.
all right, yeah, mine too. Okay, never mind.
I mean, I guess
It seems like I would want to.
technically Desperation for... Oh, Desperation is
Oh
also
god,
a way to
that
hit
feels
expand.
so bad. Ooh, yeah, that makes the stick maker less good. And you know, you're gonna want the lots of coins early so you can play in the militia every time you see it and keep your amulets going.
So
okay, yeah, I'm
here's
less warm on the stick maker.
here's my question for you. Odysseys, question mark.
I know that was gonna be a question at some point. The more I play with Odysseys, the less impressed I am with them.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the opposite for me. Like, I never want to get them, and then my opponent does, and I'm like, how are they doing so well? These cards suck, but...
This is going to be such a good thing to talk about next episode, because we're going to talk about this kingdom, and then we're going to talk about, like, allies, first
Yeah.
impressions.
Yeah.
That's going to be so good. My inclination is I don't want them, but
particularly Voyage, like, I've had some boards where I'm like, wow, Voyage looks awful here, and then my opponent gets, like, 3 Voyages, and... I don't understand. This was a money board. Why are you getting Voyages? And then they're, like, doing really well. And I'm like, I don't understand anything about how this game works anymore.
yeah, see, for me, I look at it, I'm thinking, oh, Voyage is super great here. I'm going to get them. And then the game takes 20 minutes longer than it needs to, and also I'm losing because I'm going for Voyages.
I mean, the other thing is, when I get Voyages, they're only medium for me. But they're great for my opponent.
Sounds to me like a skill issue.
It definitely does. It sounds like a me problem.
Yeah. Could be. Wait, is the
So I think what I'm saying is my first impression of Odysseys is I don't understand them.
Sunken Treasure, gain an action card you don't have a
have in
copy of in play.
Yeah.
That's a decent way to get expand.
I mean, I guess that could be a way to get expand. I probably want to get, like, I don't think I want to pick up an old map to, you know?
Yeah, I don't like getting an old
The
map.
thing is, every old map is a card that could have been an Amulet or a Coin of the Realm or a Candlestick Maker.
Yeah, it's bad against Militia, too.
And Way of the Otter, I guess maybe Way of the Otter makes Voyage better?
I was thinking about that, but I'm
'Cause it
still
can
not
just-
super sold.
Because it can be a draw to.
So you can just tread water.
So I can just have it be a draw to every time because I never want to play it as a Voyage.
There we go. Okay. Good talk.
I don't know.
I think expand's going to be really important. I probably want to lean into like playing many expands. I think I would I would be inclined to take VP on Wild Hunt a lot earlier than I would most.
I'm not sure about many expands because, like, I think
Many being 2, maybe 3.
okay. I'm thinking 1, but I could see 2 or 3. I don't. 3 seems hard. It's like the terminal space. I don't know. Maybe you get so thin you don't need to play a lot of draw cards. But if you don't need to play a lot of draw cards, then maybe Emissary gets better. Especially if you're doing like this heavy expand thing. I could see Emissary being.
Yeah,
Those
that's
things
not
Those
crazy.
things go together pretty well.
Wow. Maybe you. Oh, am I about to reverse? Oh. Ah!
Do you know that Emissary gives you 2 favors every time
So
it
many
triggers?
favors. That's half of something useful.
Or oh, hey, League of
It's-
Bankers is per 4. You can make $1 million money off of just playing all your emissaries, and then you just need some Candlestick makers, some expand. I mean, you probably get at least 1 Wild Hunt if your opponent gets a bunch of Wild Hunts, just so you can be like, yes, I will take all, or I will make you take the points.
Yeah.
And, like, you can expand out the estates, maybe. Like, you could just limit the estate. Oh, I think I'm coming around on Emissary being better.
Yeah. I'm...
That
It
is
wouldn't surprise
hot.
me if it was, but I don't know. My initial instinct is still to go for Wild Hunts over Emissary.
You know what my initial instinct is here?
What's that?
You should open double Amulet, and the game gets decided by who hits Amulet on turn 3
Oh,
and
don't
4.
say that. Don't say that to me. I don't want to hear that. Oh.
Hey, orange and tan.
Oh. We were all having a good time.
We were. Listeners, you were having a good time until I pointed that out, weren't you? But I ruined your day.
I mean, at least they don't have to playtest it.
I mean,
They don't have to resign over half of their games on turn 4 when we've discovered it's pointless to continue the game.
Kirkland brand cashews.
Same here, man. So, let me know. What do you think? Leave a comment in the comments section. Shout out on Discord. Let us know what you think of this kingdom. Maybe some of the other kingdoms, if you think that any of that was hot garbage.
By the way,
Yeah.
Desperation is gains.
Neato.
Like, if I need more expand food,
I'm not looking at curse for expand food. I'm looking at sunken treasure for expand food.
somebody's got to get an old map for sunken treasure to get uncovered.
I'll expand. Okay, I'll desperation and expand the curse into it. Are you happy now?
The biggest thing that I'm seeing Desperation for is actually hitting the first expand.
Yeah, getting an expand and then hitting province in the late game if you're short.
Yeah, or because
That's always the thing with Desperation.
for some reason your opponent's already gotten 4 Desperations, then, like, I'm gonna Desperation to give me an extra gain to empty the curse pile in the end game.
Edge case with Wandering Winder. All right.
I mean, I have had that come up. I think it's very unlikely on this board. I have had it come up on other boards with, like, medium curse attacks. Like, the curses are down to, like, or, like, where Desperation was really good or something. Or, like, you have Watchtower or something.
Watchtower, yeah.
Watchtower's a good case for Desperation.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
It's like your Watchtower turned into a silver.
The top deck stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually in one of the kingdoms for my Gen Con tournament, which happened
Nice.
about a month ago.
Lets you top deck that curse.
Yeah, and trash the thing that you
But
spent so much money on. Yeah,
that's right.
that is a thing you could do.
Hot.
Yeah, so let us know what you think of this kingdom, any of the other kingdoms, and also of allies in any of the second editions. If you had your mind changed recently, go ahead and fill out the card power levels poll. If you only want to do allies in the new second editions, it will not take you more than 10 minutes, and likely quite a bit less than that. Or you can just go down the rabbit hole if you're bored and you don't have anything to do with your hour. You can rate every single Dominion card on a scale from 1 to 10, and all of that data is welcome. It will be aggregated together. There will be at least a blog post, and probably be a decent amount of the stuff that we base next episode's content on. So let your voice be heard.
The kids say that, right? I don't know what it means. Yeah.
I mean, it's a word in English.
No, like, it's a slang thing, right?
I don't know. Maybe
A word used when you agree with... I've done something very dangerous and gone on Urban Dictionary. A word used when you agree with something or when you want to recognize someone for being themselves, i.e. courageous and unique or not caring what others think. Especially common in online political slang. Oh, no.
Political slang. Okay,
Oh,
that's
no.
a good reason for why I've never heard of this. I feel better now.
I'm out. I don't want to use this word.
Okay, me neither.
Edit that out.
I'll censor it. Dolphin noise. It's done. But I won't censor the definition.
Oh,
So,
what I was
listener,
gonna say is,
what word is that?
What
Leave a
you
comment in the
definitely want
comment
to not
section.
edit out is where I say edit it out. That you
Oh, yeah.
definitely want to leave.
Yeah, leave a comment in the comment section. What word did I censor? Eh?
I mean, that's probably not that hard to figure out.
I wouldn't have known.
No,
I would have
mean,
had to Google what you said in quotes.
Yeah,
to find
I was
it
gonna
out.
say you can just Google what I said in quotes, and then it's not hard to figure
Okay,
it out.
that's cheating. Don't do that.
Don't do it. You
If
already
you do
did
that,
it.
don't leave a comment in the comment section.
You already did it, and you already left a comment, and now we're looking in shame on you because you didn't listen to the end of the podcast before.
Yeah, and were you wearing your seatbelt? Probably not. Didn't think so.
Do you remember when I did that once? I
Wore your seatbelt? Yeah, those were good times.
No. There was a video I made, a Dominion video, and I was like commentating someone else's game, and I was like, at some point, I was like, why didn't they do this play? I don't understand. They just didn't play this card. This is so weird. And it's because Warlord is like right after Warlord came out. So
you actually talked about this in our Allies review episode, and the guy that happened to commented and said, "Hey, that was me."
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep living it. That was like
shout outs to that guy in the comments section.
Yes, but like that was peak online. Like, will the internet ever get better for me? I don't think so.
Oh, well, I've got some animated gifs to show you. Yeah, I said gif because I wanted to pronounce it incorrectly, no matter what you think.
Nice.
There's some good. You know. I'm really glad that that guy commented in the comment section, because first of all, I love it when people
comment in the comment section. Yeah,
it's really great to engage with our audience, but also it's really nice to know. Like when I ran the tournament at Gen Con, I felt actual human connection with actual human people and had a positive interaction with the Dominion Online community. What
is human interaction? Please explain.
It's very rare. It's when you actually are in the presence of another human being and it's positive and you don't get COVID. It's real weird. I know, but it's theoretically possible.
I'm sorry. What do you mean by another human being?
Like a human being that's not you? I don't understand the question.
This is a foreign concept to me.
Oh, because you're a robot?
No, because it's been a pandemic for 2.5 years.
Yeah. So when I was at Gen Con, it was really nice to meet up with people that shared a common interest. Not unlike being able to connect with people who listen to this podcast. And let me tell you a little story, Wandering Winder. Not too long ago, a friend of mine let me know. My friend's name is Jess. And she said,
she let you know that her friend is
at some point, she did let me know that her name is Jess. But also, at a different point, she let me know that about 2 summers ago in Seattle, where they live, her and her family live, she met a girl on a boat who found out.
Flew instantly?
Sure.
What Taylor Swift song is that line from?
Sparks flew all too well? Is it all too well? I don't have that one memorized yet because it's so long, and Demi just came out with a new album, so like it's a little rough. So anyway, they got to talking, and apparently was that right? What? Was it one of her like country songs?
Hold on. It's Story of Us. Yes.
So yeah, one of the old country songs.
Great.
Okay.
Sorry, I've interrupted the story many too many times.
It's okay. So anyway, friend of a friend and Jess were talking, and they found out they both knew me. Jess from like being my friend from college. We were in band together and like ran Tough Mudders together and part of the same friend group. And this other person because she listens to the podcast. And so there's this person, shout outs to Katie, who met Jess on a boat in Seattle, listens, quote, religiously to the podcast and was, quote, starstruck. Now, if that isn't a wonderful boost to my ego, I don't know what is. Actually, I do know what is. It was some people coming to my tournament and like asking for my autograph. That That was a really good ego boost.
Are you sure that when she said starstruck, that she wasn't literally hit by a literal star?
So, Katie, leave a comment in the comment section and let me know. Because this here that I'm looking at is inconclusive, and now I have to know. And now you have to,
And there's no way of telling if a literal star would have impacted someone on the Earth at any point in history.
kind of like Starlight Seeks Its Form from Spirit Island. I love that spirit.
Hey, did you know that apart from Story of Us, there's actually also a Taylor Swift song literally called Sparks Fly?
Really?
That's not the sparks flew instantly, but yeah, it's like in the chorus.
Same album, I assume?
I don't know.
It seems kind of like the same prose that she used back when her hair was like super curly,
It is curly hair era,
Fearless?
I'm pretty sure.
Fearless album, probably. That was the big one.
So, hold on. No, neither of those songs is on Fearless.
Oh God, I'm ashamed. I'm terrible. I apologize. T Swift, if you're
Oh.
listening, first of all, please leave a comment in the comments section. Second of all, can I be you? Can I just be you? But third of all, I apologize.
So, Story of Us is from Speak Now,
Oh goodness.
and so is Sparks Fly.
Okay. Well, now we know. Thanks for listening to this podcast. If you're still here,
Which clearly you are. I know that you, not just a random person, but specifically you, who doesn't think that I'm talking about you. Yeah, no, you. I am talking about you. I know that you're listening right now.
Yeah,
I
me
know it
too.
for sure. Entirely certain.
yeah. Same here, man. Yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll have another episode in the near future. Yeah.
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 Yeah, bruh.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm done. Is it that you were the winner of that Mega Millions jackpot and you're going to claim it tomorrow?
Unfortunately, that is not what I needed to tell you. Do you have any more guesses?
No.
I want you to know that I am consciously using the 7 button on my microwave whenever I
Nice.
can. And it's because of you.
Nice. I don't know if the 7 is the least used. I don't know. Maybe the 8 or the 9 or I don't know. But like,
Yeah, I could see either of those. But now, the 7 is getting a big bump.
wow.
It might have increased its total usage by like 300%.
I wonder if you were constructing a microwave. It's probably not the case, but like you design it and you put a lower grade piece of plastic behind that 7 button because you know nobody's ever going to hit it. And then here comes Adam Horton and you're like, what the you've ruined oh my mind, and you're going to he's
Hashtag here comes Adam Horton.
it's still under warranty, and like now you're going to get a free microwave because you just outthought them. And you can thank me for that.